Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with episode number 6 of Halo, Solace. And IMDb gave it an 8.1. What do you think about that?
I think that's fair. I'll put it in like up. It's up there. It was up there, even without the action and stuff like that. It was an interesting story. It was everything moved forward,
right?
Like that.
I would say that it wasn't any Halo action, what Halo lore is all about. But it was some action on this, man. Just in terms of like the storyline, how they're building that up. And Halsey does not disappoint. She is ruthless. She doesn't care. She is, oh my goodness, dude.
Halsey's built different, man.
She is built different, dude.
She's on a different universe.
You know what? What's really interesting to me about this show was Mackie, right? Because, again, we said this in the last episode. Why didn't anyone just like Article 72 this person?
I would have been like, pop, 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 right there, done. Story closed.
She is in the facility where the artifact is located. They brought her back to the facility. They didn't, they didn't put her in some far off, like,
that's
chamber
a good point.
Or something, right?
Because you would think that they would put her off world in some facility away where they keep criminals or something like that, lock her in there and interrogate her. Like, who's doing the interrogating? That's the other part that was like, what? I don't understand that.
She should have been hemmed up, like, and just like interrogated and more and get information from her, everything. I was watching I've been watching Ultraman, the latest season came out, and one of the villains, they were strapping up the Ultraman. So they were strapping up their arms and legs. They couldn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Because their arms and legs were like strapped up. Why didn't they do that to Mackie?
That thing didn't make any sense to me. Like, she's open and rocking around. Like, here's the thing. According to the show, the reason why they made the Spartans, and even the video game, is the same reason. They made the Spartans over 8 feet tall to mow down people. Yeah. That's what they're designed for. That's what their sole purpose is. The Halo thing was just a happy coincidence, or like, oh, we can use them for this too. But the initial reason why they made them was to mow people down. Why are they giving her so much leeway?
I mean, I guess she's a human, and they're just like, she's a human.
But nobody trusts her. The guard in front was like, I don't trust that chick.
No.
The lady who was giving her the food was like, I don't trust that chick either. Like,
yeah.
Nobody trusts her.
No, because she came aboard the Reach, or, she came to Earth in a really weird circumstance. They were fighting the Covenant.
Yeah, and
they just dropped her off, just like, hey, here's a human. And, she did, what the interesting thing about her story is, she told Master Chief the truth. She was like kidnapped.
Yeah, she did tell the truth. Yeah.
And then she said, listen, you and I, we're alike. So we need to link up. But she didn't tell the whole truth. She didn't say that we need these artifacts so that we can then destroy everything else. She didn't say that.
She didn't make that clear. But see, the other thing that was funny is Miranda Keys is talking to Mackie while she's asleep, or she's listening to Mackie when she's asleep, and she recognized how she's talking.
Yeah,
sounds exactly like the person who was on that Corvette that got Gallagher killed. And she didn't put two together. Like, wait a minute,
dude. She was like, she even asked. Here's the thing, you're so right, because she said, hey, maybe when I'm done with my research, you can help me out decipher the language. And it's like she was speaking it. She was speaking the language right in front of you. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I don't get this.
Everything in my being would pop up. Like, every ounce of my like goosebumps, whatever, would be like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
She's talking in the Swahili language. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on right now?
It's I don't know.
Like, I get if she was talking in her sleep or whatever, but like, I wouldn't let it knowing that you understand the language, you could talk. I wouldn't say that. I would play dumb. Like, I'm just, I was,
and here's the other thing. Okay, let's say that, she's being held in some sort of a, super duper, sort of secured location, or
under the jail.
at least a room, right?
Yeah, under the jail.
Right. So no
That's what
one's
she
doing
needs to be.
surveillance on her. They don't have cameras in there, and like it's just like, what's what's going
She's
on?
on a but she's on the military base on
Oh
Reach.
yeah,
So she's not like at the Holiday Inn or whatever. Like
right.
you're the military base.
Yeah,
Shouldn't you be inside a military cell or something? I like the brink or somewhere with bars. That's where she should be.
right.
They put her in a hotel. She's in the Holiday Inn, Motel 6
Yeah. The
on Reach.
other thing is like, why not use Cortana to like infiltrate that room and just find out what's going on?
Yeah,
You know,
twitches, what she's doing when no one's
yeah,
looking at her, that kind
you
of
know,
thing.
yeah,
These guys are rookies, man. Like we've cut through so many things that they should have been doing inside of military personnel and whatever. Just for me watching movies, I could be like, yo, that's off. That seems off. And like I have friends in the army, whatever, and I've talked about them about stuff like this, stuff they can tell me, and this seems weird.
yeah.
I'll just put it like that. You're in the middle of a fierce battle,
Hmm.
which I liked how they handled that because normally they don't show you the bodies and all that stuff. They just jump to it. But we'll talk about that after. But they're in a fierce battle. They lost, and then this girl pops up with blonde hair, and they're like, it's no big
Yeah.
deal.
Hmm.
Everybody take your armor off. It's all right. We're good here. Everybody's safe. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Oh, and here's the other thing. She comes down, hair done, nails done, everything did, dope outfit, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I was kidnapped. When I was a child. I guess they've been taking care of you, giving you fly clothes,
Right?
3 squares a
Take it to
day,
the spa.
fattening you up. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Everything about that seems off. Like you should be listen. You should look like you've been laying in garbage for the last 8 years. That's what you should look like.
Mm-hmm.
You got sores everywhere. Like you got shackles on your arms. Like that's what I would. If I saw that, I would like. Oh, okay. If I saw somebody perfectly clean, they got freshly done hair and everything like that, and makeup, and
No.
just popped out a booth, I'd be like, I got
Mm-hmm.
questions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got lots of questions.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, that was really interesting. You want to give a brief overview and then we can get into it?
All right, so Solace basically is a rundown of what happens after. Master Chief is going through some kind of trauma while he's
Mm-hmm.
holding what's the girl's name? Kai.
Yeah,
Oh, let me get
Kai.
my notes up here.
Kai is going through
Yeah,
it, isn't
yeah,
she?
he's holding Kai's hand, and
Mm-hmm.
he's looking over at Halsey like, yo, this dumb chick. Like he's got some hate in his eyes over there looking at her.
Man, he hates her.
And he's forgetting. Yeah, he's remembering everything's coming back. He's remembering everything, and then the camera pulls back, and you realize like, oh damn, everyone's like still hurt. Kai's on like an operating table, and they're giving her all the drugs you can think of. And I thought that was really good because like from the game's perspective, like bodies are thrown around, and we just keep moving because there's a mission to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we even go back to there's a bunch of people got hurt because we blew up this base and whatever. So like I thought that was a good perspective from the show that give you like there's casualties that happen when these guys show up.
Yeah.
So we get back to Reach, and like we were talking, they have Mackie in this immaculate hotel room. She got a view
Fly.
and everything.
Fly.
She's got yeah,
She's
she's
got
got a
cable,
fresh. They got cable. They
Netflix.
got a fruit bowl. They got like a welcome to Reach.
She's watching Halo because she has all the accommodations. She's probably saying, "Man, this show needs help."
There's a lot of stuff that kind of took me out of it. I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah, it's strange.
So she's nicely in her jail cell, which wasn't really a jail cell, but there's some guys out back, I guess, watching whatever is happening. But like it seemed fine. It's like the bulk of the show really is about Master Chief.
Yeah,
because Master Chief recognizes, oh, Halsey's been lying to me.
Mm-hmm.
So he tries to lock her in this room. Once they get back to Reach, he locks her in this room, and what was it? It was like some kind of decontamination center or whatever.
Yeah, that was bypassed by the last tech person. It was
Yeah,
just one of
yeah.
those security features that he did not implement on.
Well, that's the reason why the guy died, I think.
Right.
But like, so he kind of does he locks her into the room, and he's like, "Let me find out exactly what Cortana is capable of doing."
Right.
So, which I thought was clever, but not very Master Chief like. Like he
Yeah.
wouldn't do something like that. Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
way he would do something like that. But I thought that was clever because from his perspective, he's like, "What the hell? You just turned me off." Like, yeah, I didn't know what was possible. Like, what
Yeah.
else can
Listen.
you do?
Right. So he's just like, do it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm testing my abilities right now. Let's
Right.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Make me open this door.
Right. Exactly.
The last second he just opens the door and pulls her out. I thought that was interesting. Now again, like this is a complete divergence from Halo universe and what Master Chief would do or is capable of doing,
Mm-hmm.
and everything he stands for. It's kind of like they would like making Superman evil or whatever, but like or question himself. But like,
Right.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. I'm not mad at it. I know some people were upset about it, but like I'm okay with it because this is not we've passed the fork in the road for this is Halo and this is connect to the games and
It's
everything else.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that happened, and then Kane's and what's the name? Margaret, is it Admiral Margaret something
Uh,
Brzezinski or something like that?
Paragoski
Paragoski,
and
yes.
Keys.
Which is it is an unusual name for an Indian lady. I know a lot of
Right.
Indian people.
Isn't
I would like to hear
Paragoski Jewish or
who
something
her.
like that?
I would say maybe
Polish.
Polish,
Mm-hmm.
probably Polish. So I like to see
Yeah.
her husband. There's a story here, but we'll just move on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so they're sitting in a room, a low security room, highly vulnerable, which was very unusual for me because I couldn't understand how does this room exist where they're able to watch an interrogation, but there's no guards there, the door's not locked, anybody could just walk in like, hey, what's going on here? Let me put this thing on my head and let me lay down in the chair too. Like,
Right.
what the hell?
You know.
You guys are on a security base. Like this
I
is
mean,
she's
Miranda
about to talk
walked in
about
and like
it.
hooked herself up.
Yeah, she's about to hook
Mm-hmm.
herself up, but like she's about to talk about some high classified information that nobody's supposed to know. And there's no security because Master
Nada.
Chief just walked in the room too. Like
Mm-hmm.
that,
It's
that
crazy.
that blew my mind. But yeah, so basically is Master Chief figuring out what happened, what the hell's been going on,
Yeah.
and kind of getting awakening about what Halsey's been doing. And they got one thing wrong because she said there was dozens of kids they worked on. No, that number is incorrect.
Hundreds.
Hundreds,
Yeah.
hundreds of kids they kidnapped and operated on, and a bulk of them died on the operating table. Most people couldn't handle it. There's only a few people who turned into Spartans. So
Yeah.
like a lot of kids died during this process. It was a lot. It was like a meat grinder. So she said dozens. That was incorrect. There's hundreds. I would argue that maybe in the thousands they would have to go through to do what they did. But
To
yeah,
to
so
only get what, like 4 or 5 Spartans?
no, there's more than that. I would say it's
Okay.
like I think maybe got close to 100 Spartans,
Wow.
100, 150 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of them deformed, a lot of them had issues, mental issues, couldn't get through the system. There's a lot. They did make a lot. And then they did said, you know what? We don't have to augment them, but we'll do everything else.
Yeah.
So that was the Spartan 3s, I think, or whatever it was. But like, yeah, I digress. We're getting out of the storyline here. So that happened. Halsey got fired, which is incredible to me.
She got sacked.
Yeah, she got sacked.
Mm-hmm.
This is a terrible time to fire the smartest person on the planet. That seems like a bad idea. I don't. Yeah, I know the walls are closing in and yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
She's the smartest person on the planet. Getting rid of her right now is a terrible idea.
Yeah, I would.
I don't make
Yeah,
any sense.
yes and no. You know, I mean, I think there may be something has to follow there. I think we're gonna get a little treat in one of these other episodes when it comes to why they fired her. I mean, she knows a lot. She has all the receipts.
Yes. She
All
has
the
all of the
receipts.
receipts.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think you could fire her. I think she's too big to fail.
She's too big to fail, dude. You know?
Like, if you need another Spartan or you need the AI thing, who's going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Who's on that level to do something like that in that universe? Nobody.
No one at all, dude.
And she's doing this stuff by herself, or she got that intel, that other guy, the assistant dude. But like
Aiden.
generally, she's doing a lot of these things on her own.
Yeah, she is.
So unless that guy is gonna, yeah, I think he got fired with her. So how do
Maybe.
you do all this stuff right now, especially with that artifact? Like she knows more about the artifact than these guys. They're fumbling in the dark. She knows all the information about the artifact is because I think that Halsey has to know that this is from like an ancient, universe or whatever. Is before our time, and some other aliens created. So she has to know that by now. And it's like getting rid of her, so now her daughter's got to start from scratch. Doesn't make any sense. That's a terrible idea.
Well,
In a
mm,
normal world, another like 5-star general would come in like, "Hey, what the hell's going on here? Get her back in the lab. Like, what are we doing here?"
yeah.
That's what would happen. A call from the president. I'm like, "What the hell are you guys done? What are you doing down here? Get her back in the lab. We
Yeah,
got time for this."
that was also kind of strange because um three of the, I guess, people on the council, they basically sacked
Mhm.
Paragoski as well. So how was she able to sack Halsey if she was sacked?
Yeah, like that seems silly. I don't know. That seems like TV drama right there because you're gonna need Halsey. You're
Yeah,
even if this movie or TV show diverts completely from the Halo universe, you're going to need Halsey
you are going to
really
need
badly.
Halsey for real.
So like it doesn't make any sense. Like you're sidelining her to put her back on the team. Like it's dumb. It's a waste of time. You know where she's gonna end up. Last thing is that Master Chief decides to go back to the artifact after
Ooh.
talking to Mackie
Mhm.
on with no help, not wearing
None.
his uniform. It was like all of that seems stupid to me. It infuriated me. But like he's talking to her with no security, no one's even looking over what he's saying to her, and he goes back and he decides to go check out the artifact again. And finally, we see what a halo looks like in this universe.
That
And
was my question. I
yeah,
have
so we're
questions. Hmm.
that's a halo ring right
That's a
there.
halo. And what does that halo ring do?
It annihilates all life in the galaxy.
But
It
it looks so
destroys all
beautiful.
life.
But it looks so
It's
beautiful.
an arc.
Hmm.
So like there is DNA on it so that it can reseed the universe.
Wow. Okay. That's
So you're
very
supposed
interesting.
to, yeah. So like, birds, whatever, all animals, whoever's supposed to be in that universe or the galaxy,
Mhm.
it's on it like an arc. So it wipes out all life, and then you can go repopulate the universe again with it. That's what it's for.
Wow. Okay. So here we go. Halsey is man, listen. Halsey, first of all, Master Chief, he wants to know what's going on. So he confronted Halsey. And Halsey
Yeah,
gave him sort of the story, but not everything. Like you said, we were
yeah.
talking
She gave
offline. You
enough.
said, yeah, it wasn't like she didn't use dozens of kids. She used hundreds, maybe even thousands of kids, right?
It's a lot. It's a
It's a
high
lot.
number.
You know, if you look at the Fall of Reach, the animated movie, they
Mm.
show all the kids. It's like thousands of them. You know, just
It's
like
a lot of kids.
marching
It's
around. A
a
lot
lot.
of them are dying, bloody noses, everything else. You know, and
Yeah,
that's what she
yeah.
said. You know, she was like, she even said her
Mm.
she even said her reasoning was, you know, yes, she had to like introduce these clones that would
Mm.
eventually die, which was horrendous. And her thing was like, well, at least the parents had closure.
Mm.
I was like, what type of person
Yeah,
is
she is
this?
heartless. Yeah.
It's like,
There's no way you can gloss over this story and make it sound nice. She's
is she?
heartless.
I mean, I'm like, what, dude? I mean,
Mm.
okay, I don't. Again, I'm not into the game. I maybe played the game once, but
Mm.
is she? She's obviously this ruthless in a game.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
I would say this is on par with the
yeah.
game. At least about what she's doing, her motivations are, it's on par with the game. She's the villain to me. When I play Halo, she's the villain. She's not a
So
good person.
So Master Chief was like, listen, I don't need your help, because she's like, we can do this together. She was like, he said, I'm going to do it by myself. I don't
Mm.
know what he's going to do himself, but he does
And he ain't
have,
gonna do nothing by himself. Like, stop it.
he does have, it seems like he has a lot more power. It seems like he has more power than Halsey, because he can interact with the artifact, right?
Yeah, he's got free reign of the lab still. He can walk
Yeah,
around. He can do whatever he
right,
wants still.
exactly.
They're kicking her out.
Yeah, so, and you know what, Halsey, she does not mind pulling that blackmail card. She's just like,
Oh, hell
well,
yeah.
if we do tell, I'm gonna tell everyone else. And then old girl
Yep.
Paragoski was like, okay, well, that means you're gonna be in jail too. And then she ships her off to, like, what is it
She was
called?
like,
The Blair Moon
Halsey's
or
like,
something like
word.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, she was
So
gonna ship Rob, but like Halsey was like,
right,
word, I'm gonna go by myself, word. That's what's gonna happen.
but
We'll see
here's
about that.
but here's the thing: Paragoski, knowing how
Mhm.
ruthless and how cunning Halsey is, when she sacked her, those two officers should have grabbed her, shipped her out to the moon, to this, like, Blair Moon or whatever it is, immediately, right?
Yeah, throw
They
her off the base immediately, send her stuff later on.
they had
You
her
can't do
posted
that.
up, exactly. They had her posted up in her really nice apartment, and she was able to still infiltrate, exactly what everyone is doing. She summoned, she hacked into the system, so that Keys
Yeah.
was denied, and then sent a message, message, see me. She came by, she
Mhm.
had something in her eye, recording everything. I was like, she's ruthless to her own daughter, yo.
You know what? That's the thing, though. I have a trouble believing. I don't think she would need to scan her daughter's eye. I think she would already have had a scanning of her kids.
Yeah.
If she had any other kid, I think she would have their DNA, fingerprints, all that stuff, the mouth swab, all that eyelashes, whatever you did, some kind of hair thing, follicle. She would have had that already.
But
She would have tested her kid on her kids a long time ago.
right,
There's
but
no
I
way she
think
didn't have that information.
I think that Contact did something more than just, like, scan her. I think it was scanning her, just something in her brain or something, like, what is she doing, blah, 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 access and everything, because then Cortana got freed. And Cortana is a
Yeah.
problem too, but, this whole thing is like, Halsey, again, like I said, Halsey, a, a person coming into this not as a Halo
Mhm.
person, right, would immediately start hating Halsey. Just like Article
Yeah.
72, this person, so we can get on with it, right?
Under the jail.
Under the gel, just like,
Under
really, how
yeah.
how can you not? Okay, so, and she keeps saying, right?
Mhm.
Excuse me. She keeps saying, yes, we did this to save billions, a billion people. It's just like,
Mhm.
and Master Chief was like, but you killed thousands of kids.
Yeah, you don't care.
And
She
then
don't
she was,
care.
and here's the thing, right? She said
Yeah.
she had to get these kids when they were 6 years old.
Yeah.
No one said anything. The military, you would think that, like, kids are, like, sacred. You don't mess with kids, right?
Yeah.
You can do and say anything, right?
Yeah.
When it
Yeah.
comes to kids, you do not mess with kids. And here she is, the military, UNSC, everyone
Everybody signed off for it.
everyone
But
signed off on it.
the original reason why they gave this okay was to create super soldiers. And the government was like, oh, you got to kidnap kids? Yeah, all right. You know
Okay.
what? Go for it. Give it a
And,
shot.
like, oh, like, you got to kidnap kids. Oh, and, 90% of them will die. Oh, that's okay. I mean, like,
He's like, the government was like, you got to break a couple legs. What do you want from me? Like, just
we're
go
gonna
break some
save
eggs.
billions. We're gonna save billions of people. What's
Yeah,
1,000, 2,000 kids?
but here's the whole point that makes this whole thing funny. The initial reason why they made the Spartan program was to put down rebel separatists. That was it. That's the
Yeah.
reason.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because there was some big super war going on in the galaxy. It was to put down some separatists that were causing some trouble out in some far outposts. That's what it was for. So they decided to inject kids and make them 8 feet tall and give them super armor to smash humans that are getting out of line.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
Humans that have no power. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not like, Covenant soldiers or warriors or something like that. They're just like, regular people, humans with guns. That's it. They don't have any superpowers like, the
Yeah.
Spartans. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean,
Exactly. They were designed to go to magical and beat everybody's head in.
right,
Like everybody, hey, you dig for some more oil, all right? Shut up.
right.
That's what they're designed for.
So I'm
And then
just
a war
gonna,
happened. They're like, oh wait, okay, we can use
or
them
we
for
can use
this
them for
too.
these, for this war and
Yeah.
whatnot. I'm gonna say this. I'm just gonna bring this up very briefly. I did enjoy this episode, and we were talking offline that I think I really enjoyed this episode because Quan was not in it, right?
Yes.
Quan made
Mass-
a 1 minute, maybe a 30-second appearance, and I was like,
yeah.
oh.
It was
And
short.
that was it. But this show was not. It wasn't chaotic. It wasn't temper tantrum like. It wasn't. It wasn't just like baby like. With Quan, this show was a lot more adult. This episode here,
it was more logical.
yeah,
Like the stuff Master Chief was doing was logical. I'm like,
Right,
except for
exactly.
going to see Mackie.
right,
That's the only part I was like, what the hell, man? But like everything else he was doing, I was like, okay, it's logical. He's testing Cortana so he can get away with. Okay, that makes sense. And he hates Halsey, so it's fine. He's just whatever. I don't care about Halsey anymore. That's
Right.
like, so in his thinking, what he's doing makes sense. Then he went to see Kai, and he was like, hey, what else do you know? I'm gonna tell you what I know. You guys are in the same boat because you took your chip out too. You're the only person I can tell this to. That makes sense.
right.
A lot of stuff was logical in here.
And they get it because they don't
yeah.
have the chip. They didn't even have to say anything. They were just like, yes,
Yeah, they're
we
looking
know.
at each other like, yeah, you know, I know. Yeah, exactly. It's like that was fair. And like get rid of Halsey, I get why they would do it. It wouldn't make sense to me why you would do that, but I didn't have a problem with it because I understand why they were doing it. Because she's trying to protect herself, and she knows this thing's about to blow up in everybody's face, so she's just trying to get. She's doing the, like the pencil pusher type thing, the save your own skin thing. That's what she's doing. She's trying to get in front of it, like, hey, I got rid of her, the problem person. I got rid of her. All right, let's get back to work, everybody. Like, that's
Okay, let's talk about the little cute elephant in the room, and that would be Mackie. How I feel about that. Article 72. It's not even Article 72. Someone shot the Covenant shot a human pod down and then shot at her but missed it. When she came out the pod, Swiss cheese, that's it.
Swiss cheese.
Now they have the person who is looking for the artifact on the in the UNSC military facility where the artifact is. Right, huh? Yes.
She's looking for Reach. They brought her to Reach. What are you doing?
Brought her to Reach, yeah, and in the facility where the artifact is. So I don't get that at all. But when Master Chief came in, she basically told him like, "Listen, we're alike. We can do the same thing. We have the same powers." But she, she wants to kill him. She wants to bring his head back to the Covenant to home charity.
He's
the whole
demon.
nine.
Like, trying to kill. Yeah. Like, okay, why would he go see her without his armor on? That's the first question I have.
I mean,
because here's the thing, from the Covenant's perspective, they don't know what the hell these Spartans are made of.
Right.
Because you can't kill them, and they're on their level, whereas they can just Swiss cheese all the humans. So there's a whole fear thing about the Spartans. They call them a demon because they're like, yo, this monster's coming here and Swiss cheesing us. We can't stop him. Why would you alert her to this? Oh, it's just a regular guy. He's just a little bit bigger. They're like, what?
Right. I was also thinking this here. I was thinking, okay, when he first met her, he should have had his helmet on, right? Because she doesn't know she doesn't know who he is, what he looks like.
Yeah.
You do have the number that identifies who you are, like 117, 125, 066, all that sort of stuff, right? But yeah, I thought that he should have been in there with his helmet on because she does have that thing on her finger where she can just like poke someone and just like, Swiss cheese a person up. And if he had all his armor on, she wouldn't be able to do that, right? So I'm just like, so why did he come in there like the first time with no helmet on and then the second time with no armor on at all?
It's insane. That's insane to me.
Let's not forget, we are in the middle of a war. And you're walking around with an alien or a person who was shot down by an alien that's on reach in the military facility, and
Yeah.
all you have are like two, Marines at the door.
Okay, I have a question for you. Did
What's
they
up?
even scan for trackers? Did you even check and see if, like, they could follow her or anything? Like, did you check that?
They've
They just look like they're like, it's a human. Bring her on home.
they were checking. They were doing all the scientific stuff. They draw blood. They drew blood. They
Did
were
they
like,
check for trackers
they
though? I
did
don't think
not
they
do that.
did.
Well, listen, they didn't check for trackers, and they didn't put one and one together to say, listen, she's speaking the language that we were researching.
Yes.
Like, so what's up with that? It's a lot of like, I don't want to say loopholes, but they kind of are like loopholes.
The writers, they bumble that up.
They bumbled that up.
I would have had her in an 8x8 cell that's all gray,
Yep.
down in the dungeon somewhere that's black. You can't see out a window, nothing.
Nothing.
And I would have some voiceover, like Master Chief talked to her over the voice. We're going to scan her vitals.
Mhm.
We're going to check her pupils. She's going to be like strapped to a chair. And then you go talk to her. Figure out we're going to figure this thing out.
Exactly. Send her
black site off planet.
Yep. Like slide her food through like a hole.
Yeah, through a little hole. Yeah, exactly.
Like, sensory overload, loud, like heavy metal music. I mean, all the stuff they do at Gitmo.
Exactly. Everything.
All the stuff the Americans import.
The whole night. I'm proud to be American, blasting 24 hours a day in the cell. Like, yo, you're going to listen to that for a bit. We're going to figure this thing out. Like,
but hey, you know what? I have to say this, just being a military person that I am, war is war. You have to gather intel, and you have to gather intel so that you have the advantage. Sometimes gathering intel it's not humane. But I'm not in the military, but that's how things work, right? It's just like, hey, how else are you going to get intel?
If Halo was real, Space Dick Cheney would have waterboarded her already, right?
All day.
And got it all day. And then they were like, bring in the specialist with the fingernail clippers.
Yep.
We're going to figure out who you are.
It would have been like,
That's what happened.
It'd have been like, one of those, I forget which James Bond movie that was, but like when they stripped James Bond and then put him in a wicker chair and took the seat out, and then old boy had a rope with a knot on it. I was like, James Bond was hemmed up in a hospital for like a month, 2 months, like getting that sack all like tightened up.
Casino Royale. They would have gave him
Casino Royale. So yeah, I don't quite understand that. But it happened. But the story did move along. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it. I do like Mackie speaking English. She's actually
a good villain.
She's a good. I was about to say, she's a good villain, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm very interested in what's going on with her.
Right.
She seems like she's ruthless when she needs to be, but she's pretending like, oh, I'm so innocent. I don't know what's going on. Like, yeah. Like, okay.
Why do you think they did not have any Mandragora scenes at all? No Quan, no Soren, no Rubble, nothing like that. Why not?
Because they were like, we got to keep this momentum going. We have a good show last week. Right. Let's get this going.
Exactly.
Couple shows left.
We had a good show last week, but we did have a Quan scene in there that was just
there's she ran away.
Yeah.
And Soren is like, screw it. I made out like this better off. I'm better off now. Like,
well, she's about to they stopped the episode because she was she had a gun at his head. She was about to shoot him. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's kind of weird. I'm just so glad she wasn't in this episode because I don't. Again, like I said, I don't get down with bratty kids in serious films or serious TV shows. Get rid of them.
It's annoying.
It's annoying. It's annoying, dude. So John was like, Master Chief was like, I got to find out what's going on. And they're basically saying, and Mackie was basically saying, listen, the artifact is killing you because the more information you want to find out from the artifact, the sicker you will get and eventually you will die. However, you see when he went in and he activated the the artifact, Mackie was also, reacting the same way. And then that's, he went all the way. And then next thing you know, they showed up, they appeared on a planet where the halo was. Do we know what planet that was?
Where the halo array, the
Yeah.
halo array is the planet, or
Okay.
basically it's a big circle, like
What's
a
the
hula
name
hoop.
of it? Halo?
It'll be installation. I don't know what installation number that is. What they're doing
Okay.
on the show,
All right.
because there's different halos. There's a
It's a
bunch of them.
beautiful planet though, man. Like nice, like, just sunlight and
Just think of it like
everything.
a flat hula hoop that's
Right.
wide enough that you got mountains,
Yeah.
but
It looks
it's a big circle though. It's
How
a
can
big
something
giant
so
circle.
beautiful be so deadly though?
Well, because nobody it's designed to reseed, plants and stuff like that. So
Mm,
it's got life on it and everything. It's water, like it's nice, but it's a giant thing. Oh, you know what? The best way? It's a giant arc.
yeah.
So it's Noah's Ark. It's a giant circle. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay.
It's two
So
by
that
two
was
in there.
that was pretty interesting because why do you think he also touched her like when they were like on this planet? Do you think
I
that
don't know.
he
That was weird.
yeah, just like was it like a are you real? Are you here sort of touch?
Yeah. Well, I think that I have a question because I want to know, like, when every time he touches the artifact, is she seeing what he's seeing too?
Well, it
Is this
seems
like a
like
first time, or is this been happening the whole time?
remember when the in the last episode when the artifact was activated, the large one, Mackie
Mm.
felt that on Mandrigo, and she even knew where it was just based on it being activated, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now she's close enough to the artifact. Master Chief goes and activates it, and then she is experiencing the same sort of things he is. They sort of have the
Mm.
same heart rate, the same rhythmic patterns, and everything else. And
Yeah. So
Halsey knows that too.
yeah. So I think, is it because of proximity that they're pretty near to each other on the base,
I
that they're
think it
able to
is.
connect to it like
I
that?
think
I
it
guess that's
is.
what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Because
think it
like
is.
Master Chief doesn't have any magical abilities in the game. He's just
No,
Master Chief. Like he's a
I
regular
think it's
dude.
like the both of them being like the blessed ones, and the blessed ones are
Mm.
those who can activate the the artifacts. Not quite sure like if this guy can activate the artifact, why would you want to kill him? Maybe they can do something like together and have like just a huge piece of power. Just because they both
Mm.
have the ability to activate these artifacts all over the planet, all over the like galaxy, wherever they may be located. Why would you want to like kill this guy, bring the head back to home charity and everything else? I guess she's
I
just
guess they're
pissed
thinking we
off.
don't need him. We got her. Like we're good
Yeah,
here.
What do you think about Halsey just again just stick just dipping her toe into all sorts of things. Just she's just I don't know about her, man. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, right? I
Mm.
can I like her storyline, right? Because she's not
Mm.
yelling. She's extremely sophisticated when it comes to her
Mm.
chaoticness, right?
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
manipulative and
right.
she's smart.
She's super smart, and she has a lot of receipts,
Yeah.
and so people are like, well, hey, in situations like that, some governments would just say, oh, this person has this person knows a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah,
We
you
may
gotta
need to get we may need to get rid of this person. The
yeah, you're
next
gonna
thing
have
you
an
know,
accident. You're gonna fly
yeah,
down a flight of stairs or something like that.
exactly. Next thing you know, she's driving, a car speeds up to like 200 miles an hour. She doesn't know why. And then she gets in an
Mm-hmm.
accident and it's done. It's over. Halsey does
Absolutely.
not exist anymore.
How's
She
he gonna have a
cannot.
ski accident somewhere?
Do you think that, when Halsey was in this, like, I guess it was some sort of a scientific room when
Mm.
Master Chief, like, locked the door and then activated, like, this gas that would have just basically nuked her. Do you think that
Mm.
Cortana does not have the ability to stop him, or she just did not so that he doesn't know that she has the ability?
Oh, that's a good point. I
Right.
don't I don't think she has the ability to stop him because she
Do you
shouldn't be
know?
able to do any of the stuff she's doing on the show.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that
I
was
don't
pretty
think so.
strange. And the other thing is, like, if you were so Master Chief, if you were so pissed off at Halsey because you were about
Mhm.
to like crush her head in the last
Yeah,
episode,
he almost killed her twice now in 2
right?
episodes.
So this episode, you actually had the ability to kill her, but you
Mhm.
snatched her
Yeah.
up. You took her out the chamber or whatever it was, and I don't know why. If you really wanted to kill her, like, how can she help
Mhm.
you? You basically wanted to know what was going on, and then
Mhm.
she told you. And then you also said, I'm going to do it myself. So why do you need her?
Yeah.
I
That's a
mean,
fair point.
and the other thing is this: if you got rid of her, Jacob Keyes, Paragoski, everyone
Mhm.
would have been okay with that because
Yes.
now, you know,
That is a win for them, all
all
of
the
them.
receipts are burned. They go with her. So
Yeah,
I don't
she would
know
just
why that
disappear
exactly.
and nobody would talk about her ever again, and they would all be so happy if that happened.
Yeah. This was this was a pretty good episode, man. I'm just really interested in knowing, even though Quan is like super annoying,
Mhm.
there's something that's going to pop off. Something is going to happen on Mandrigo. And
Mhm.
I just kind of feel she's important to, this season of Halo on some level. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either because I hope it's not what we think it's going to be for because like I don't. She should be useless to the universe at this point.
President
She's
Quan
not,
Han.
but she's
Mhm.
not powerful enough to be important during the battle. Her unless Magical has like well they already pulled the artifact from Magical, so what happens to Magical is irrelevant to the storyline now.
Right.
If things already gone, the Covenant's been there what 3 times already now, and they could care
They
less what
got,
happens over
yeah,
there now.
right.
They got what they needed, so I don't know. I that her storyline should be finished. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I
Hopefully,
know, but
her
it's
storyline is done.
unfortunately it's not, because she did make a super short, small appearance, and next episode they're gonna like concentrate on Mandrigo,
Yeah, they got to talk
Soren,
about Magical next
Quan.
episode.
So we will see. That's not exciting to me because Soren is walking around with the revolver, so it's just like that's not exciting. I
How
mean,
do you not
dude,
bring any other guns? Like what
dude,
they
you're like,
It's
and
so
the other thing is
stupid.
this, like, and I know this is the last episode, but Soren had a whole bunch of stuff on the ship when they like, dismantled
Yeah,
it,
he
right?
snatched his stuff.
He had
Yeah.
everything on him. I'm like, dude, you didn't have any weapons. Where's your helmet? Yada yada yada. He's just like, well, come on,
Mm-hmm.
it's ridiculous, But episode number 6, Halo Solace. Give me your rating on that, man.
I get a 7.5.
Seven
I
point
I would have
five.
rated I would have rated it higher if there was some kind of action going on.
Mm-hmm.
But like I guess snatching Halsey counts as action, so we'll, we'll count that as action. No, that's fine. But like overall, like the story, it moved the story forward. There was no Quan. It's like there's all these pluses for the show. Um, Master Chief is acting completely out of character. He would never do any of those things.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason why they picked him because he's a good leader. Although he did have an incident like in Halo lore when he first got like some of his powers.
Mm-hmm.
He killed like 5 people.
For no reason.
Yeah, no, they were testing him to see what if he was going to handle himself in the fight. They set
Mm-hmm.
him up. The army set him up,
Wow.
and he's like these bullies. They tried to fight him. He didn't realize how fast he was, how strong he was. He was just snapping necks and pushing heads in. So they're like, "Oh damn! Oh, this
Oh my
thing works. All
goodness.
right, let's get
No
some more
way.
kids in here." But yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, he realized like, oh, I gotta be careful what I'm doing, whatever. But like, Master, this what he did in this show is completely out of character. To him. He would never put someone's life in danger like that. Like that's just antithetical to his character in the game or whatever you know about him.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. So I know Halo purists are like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But like for me, I was fine. I'm not Halo purist. I just love the game, so it is
Yeah.
what it is.
It's pretty good. I am going to give Halo episode number 6, Solace, an 8. And the reason why I'm giving it an 8,
Okay.
first is because Quan was not in this episode for a really long time. Um,
Mm.
I just like how they built the storyline of episode 6 was pretty cool. Halsey had a really tight apartment too, didn't she?
Yeah,
That
look
apartment,
nice.
I was like, man, she's got like, you could just tell like there was a ship like over her window, like, they were just watching her, But
Mm.
everything moved really well for me, it was
Yeah,
really
when you get
easy
rid
to.
of stupid people in the storyline, the thing just runs better.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly. That's what I mean. We don't need temper tantrum. We don't need like conniptions, people having
Mm.
conniptions, 12-year-olds having conniptions. This is a serious show. This is a serious video game.
Mm.
Are there any kids having temper tantrums in the video game?
No, there's no
No.
kids in the video game at all.
Exactly.
Period. It's a
So
war.
it's
It's a
just
war zone.
exactly. If you're going to have kids in a serious TV show or movie, they better be
Mm.
super duper important.
Yes, I
Don't
agree.
just have someone, screaming, asking for applesauce, all this other crazy stuff, just like, okay, here's your cow's milk, go lay down or something.
Yeah, you need a
Um,
nappy nap.
I'm
Like,
serious, but I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8 because I really liked it. It moved really well. It moved really quick.
yeah, things move forward.
It was only 46 minutes. It was really 48 minutes, but the whole intro and
Mm.
everything. But 46 minutes, really cool. We have a few more shows, 3 more shows, 3 or 4 more shows. It's going to be really
Mm.
interesting to see what happens next episode. And yeah, it's getting good, man. It's getting good. I like that.
All right.
Definitely.
I think it's a fair rating. I think it matches in line with IMDb.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a good show.
It's quality.
I wasn't angry, like yelling at my screen like I normally am about
Yeah.
some of these shows. I was like, this is fine.
And it looked good
It's kind
too.
of weird, but it's fine. Yeah, it
It
looked
looked
good.
good too. It looked good.
I want to see more Reach before they
Yes.
blow it up.
Exactly. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.